So I'm very excited for my next guests this evening. It's two for the price of one, and it is fully Scottish. Hello, Charlie Fisher and Ripley the Drag Queen. Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you both?
Feeling good. Feeling like I'm back in Scotland. It's amazing.
This is what we're trying to create a virtual Scotland. How are you, Charlie? How's it going?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm all right. Yeah, as good as I can be in these times.
Indeed.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, let's say a solid 7.5 out of 10.
That's pretty good, I'd say. For like
That's
for
pretty high.
this time in January anyway, never mind like the
Yeah.
most January of Januaries that we've ever had.
Yeah.
So
And today's Blue Monday as well, so that's a
today is Blue
very high
Monday as
score
we
for
speak.
Blue Monday.
I
So well
know.
done you.
I
That's all
said
right.
suck it, Blue Monday.
Yeah, that's it. Push through. And for those who, when you watch the YouTube video, which of course you will watch at some point, Charlie, you're sporting a very nice sort of tropical shirt there, bringing some
Thank
color.
you.
Hmm.
I got it from TK Maxx.
Gorgeous. Yeah, sponsors on the way. I have a nice collection of shirts with flowers in them somewhere, but I'm just going for a black t-shirt today. Ripley, how's
Oh,
your day
I
been
didn't get the
today?
memo.
Yeah,
Well, I just got out of bed,
Oh, I'm
great.
so jealous.
combed my hair, and now I'm here.
Well, thank you
I'm sorry I
for.
didn't put in much effort. I'm sorry.
No, yeah, I mean, listen, more effort than I have, so you're both looking gorgeous, and thank you so much for coming to chat to me. So, I
Thank
mean,
you.
obviously, I wanted to come and speak to you both anyway at some point, as we've connected over this last year, I guess, over the interwebs and our lovely sort of growing community of queer musicians, which has been really
Mhm.
lovely. But then I guess we've been involved in each other's sort of things that we've been up to. But in particular, I wanted to focus this week on make it a fully Scottish version of my show for Venn's Quop. So all the tunes that we'll be hearing will be Scots, including yourselves. And we'll hear a little bit later on as well about Ripley, your plans for Burns Night as well, which is going to be
Okay.
oh, hi, it's going to be very exciting. So, but before we get into all of that, Charlie's just cringing in the corner there slightly.
Only slightly.
Yeah, fully. They've left. They've left.
Incredibly.
So, tell us a little bit about you both. For those who don't know, Charlie, let's start with you.
Starting with me. Well, my name's Charlie Fisher. Um, I don't know. I mean, what's important to know about me? I'm incredibly beautiful,
Hmm.
and I try my best.
These are
I
two
think
good
that's
things.
I think that's very important. Yeah, no, I make super dumb gay dance pop music, which I think is important and needed, especially at the minute when there's enough moodiness and sadness around in the world. And I think
Absolutely.
what people really want is to just sort of get out of that for 2, 3 minutes at a time. So if
Absolutely.
that's what
And
you
you,
want,
that's definitely what we want. And you gave us a full album last year as well, which was
I
amazing
did.
album.
Oh, I don't know what I was thinking, honestly. It was very stressful.
An album in 2020? What?
Honestly.
And where do we find you in the world, Charlie? Where are you calling from?
Like physically in the world right now. Yeah,
Physically
I'm
in
in
the world right now.
Southeast London.
Southeast London.
I'm in
All right.
Southeast London.
Beautiful. And Ripley. Who's Ripley?
Yeah. Ripley is literally the opposite of Charlie.
Uh,
I think what the world needs is more grim stuff about the terrible things that are happening. And all of my songs reflect that. So,
Yeah, but they're still
capitalism,
bangers.
corruption, all the happy things go into my music. But I like to put a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek dancey twist to it all. So, you're dancing, but you're also angry at the same time.
I love a bit of angry dancing. It's good.
I like
Almost as much as I
moshing.
like sad dancing. Yeah, moshing. Moshing for the queer culture. Well, listen, this is why pop is so good. So you can fit all of this all the
Exactly.
spectrums
Exactly.
into some pop music, which is great. And Ripley, you released your EP last year as well. So, you're both getting those
That's
songs out
right.
there.
One Foot on the Ladder came out last year. Feels like it came out ages and ages ago.
Does it? And are you, is there plans for new material this year from Rip?
Yes, there is another EP in the works. I am doing it in collaboration with my good friend Alan McIntyre, who's a Paisley-based producer who has worked with the likes of the iconic DJ John Pleased Women. And yeah, we're just sort of taking it a bit at a time, working out the theme, but it's very high energy, very, very, very clubby. So it's
yes.
quite different to the last EP, but it's going to be a really good one.
Great. Oh, I can't wait. I mean, I feel like as soon as we're allowed to actually get on the dance floor, we've got all the music. We're just waiting.
Yeah.
Unstoppable once we're allowed back on dance floors.
Yeah. I'm expecting at least a 2-week bender. Let's see how we go. So, Scottish vibe for this evening.
Yeah.
Tell me where you both grew up in Scotland. Ripley, are you in Scotland right now, actually? Where are you?
Well, I know I said I feel like I'm in Scotland, but I am. But in lockdown, I don't talk to anyone, so I could be anywhere.
If it feels like Scotland,
I could be in a bunker in Ukraine for all you know. But, yeah. No, I'm in Portobello in Edinburgh.
Oh, I love Portobello.
Yes. It's just by the sea. It's just a few yards away.
Oh, gorgeous. Can you see the sea from where you are?
No. I can see Scotland.
Great. Oh, I love Portobello. Yeah, nice. Wait, and did you grow up in that area?
Just up the road, yeah. A strange area that doesn't really have a name because it's nestled in between lots of other bits. But I like to say that I grew up in Arthur Seat because technically that was where my back garden was. So I'm just a child of the hill.
Beautiful. Born in Arthur Seat. I mean,
Yes.
you could tell. Arthur Seat's Big Hill in Edinburgh. For those.
Yes.
There's a few hills.
A dormant volcano.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, bring us the facts from Arthur Seat.
Yes. Actually, I think all of them are dormant volcanoes because Castle Rock is a volcano.
Yeah, the castle is as well. I know that much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, see,
All these
we're learning.
Volcanoes. Yeah. Great. So I studied.
Were there volcanoes where you grew up?
Yeah. Charlie? Where did you grow up?
So I grew up on the west coast, a town called Irvine. I don't know if you'll know it. You might know it.
I do.
I do know Irvine. Mm-hmm.
I'm so sorry, both of you.
Not
Yeah,
at all.
so I grew up there, and then I lived in Glasgow for 3 years before I moved to London.
There you go.
Not very exciting, I'm afraid. It's
No,
not very exciting.
well, hey, for some people, this might be exotic.
Yeah, I know.
I can't imagine who, but
There'll be someone out there.
no, Glasgow's great. I mean, so I studied in Edinburgh and lived in Edinburgh for a bit, but before that, in my young, youthful days, just coming out, I was out in Glasgow and lived there for like a year. So got a good place in my heart.
Yeah, Glasgow's great. I do miss it. I don't know if I could go back and live there, but I do miss it. I always think I should visit more often, like more than I do, and then I don't do it. But
Well, London is quite fun too. But yeah, I don't know. What do you miss? Is there anything you miss most from Scotland, Charlie?
yeah, I think it's funny because you can like not know anyone wherever you are in Glasgow, and they're still not in Glasgow in Scotland. Well, yeah, in Glasgow because that's in Scotland too. I can't speak. Sorry.
Listen, it's okay. We're all just coming into this as much as we can on our Blue Monday. It's fine.
There's always that feeling of like, even if you don't know anyone, there's sort of a sense of community in Scotland, and I miss that. It's nice. It's really nice, and I've not found that anywhere else. So that's something that I do miss a lot.
Yeah, definitely different from being in the big smoke in London,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And how about you, Ripley, in Portobello? Is there that kind of vibe there? It's quite like villagey, towny
Totally,
like
yeah.
situation, isn't it? Yeah.
Portobello is a very tight-knit community, and it's because it's a little bit up and coming now.
Mm-hmm.
We're all like really supporting each other, all the little independent businesses here. Everybody's so supportive of each other. There's always little community events happening. For example, once we petitioned to get all of the cars removed from the street so that we could all just meet each other and hang out in the street. This was obviously before COVID.
That's really
But
cute.
yeah, and
Oh.
sometimes we get in trouble from the council for this, but there's after Christmas, there's usually a Christmas tree graveyard on the beach. So everyone takes them and they plant them in the sand, and we're all like, oh, nice tree you had that's now dead.
Oh, wow.
What happens
Bit
to them
morbid.
after that?
They either wash away or people burn them, or busybody will come and put it in a bin and be like, oh, this isn't right. You know.
I mean,
If I had a Christmas tree, I'd join in. But
yeah,
I admire everyone else's.
why not? It is a great beach as well.
It's lovely, yeah.
I always pop down there for some fish and chips and a little walk on the beach.
We have an award-winning chip shop down here. I think it was voted like the best for 2 years running.
There you go.
You can get yourself a nice deep-fried pizza slice there.
Oh,
Whatever you want.
I'm changing my answer. That's what I miss about Scotland.
So,
Deep fried pizza.
what was it? Was it just called a pizza slice? Is that what it was called? No, pizza crunch.
It's a crunch, isn't it? Yeah.
That's it. I used to get that at the chippy at lunchtime. I don't know how I survived, to be honest, but I ate that for like years. Anyway, pizza crunch. There you go. So, aside from obviously Scottish memories of pizza crunches and such things, tell us a little bit about your forays into music and kind of where that came from. Ripley, I'm going to ask you first because I'm also interested in the sort of the meeting of drag and music as well, and how that kind of comes about. So tell us the magic behind that one.
Well, I started off in the cabaret scene.
Mm-hmm.
I won a little pageant at a venue called Halfway to Heaven a few years ago. And that's basically what sort of got me on my career path.
Ah, cool.
During that time, I was kind of trying to figure out what exactly I was bringing to the cabaret world, because I'm not your, Proud Mary kind of drag queen.
Uh-huh.
That's not my thing, and neither are like rubbish willy jokes or even worse misogynistic jokes. It's just not my kind of thing. And during that time, I was trying to figure it all out, and then I came up with the idea of a show that's called Like a Sturgeon, which is basically a political satire. It's kind of been compared to, what's the thing with all the puppets? You know the one from the 80s.
Sesame Street?
Spitting Image.
Spitting Image.
Sesame
Yes,
Street.
Sesame Street.
Yes, it's been compared to Sesame Street. People are like, yeah.
Where's Big Bird?
Yeah, me. No, I think I'm what? Remember the elephants? I don't know why I'm doing that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As if you don't know what an elephant looks like. There was an elephant in Sesame Street. It was brown.
Yes.
And he was friends with Big Bird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think so.
Yeah. So anyway,
Maybe.
it was compared to that, and it became a fixture of the Royal Vauxhall Tavern.
Great.
And then in 2019, my friend and I, we were just thinking, what would a song by Ripley be? Because I always all of my shows have multiple rewrites of numerous pop songs to make them all about whatever's happening politically. And we were like, actually, some of these lyrics that you're writing for like Dua Lipa songs are actually like quite good and would be much better against their own instrumental. So then we wrote a song together called Electric Democracy, which came out just before the doomed general election in 2019, where the country decided to just, screw itself over even more.
Hmm.
And yeah, then I thought, actually, let's just keep going and write more songs. And then 2020, lockdown happened, and I thought, well, here's a good excuse to finally put my money where my mouth is and write a wee EP and release it by myself. So
Amazing.
yeah, that's kind of how it happened. It all came through dressing up and being silly.
That's the best way, I think. That's cool though. It's always good to think back in these like, and sometimes at events, I guess like maybe like that competition that maybe were like a real
Yeah.
like key moment that you might not have thought of at the time, but like when you look back, you're like, oh yeah, wow,
Yes.
pretty cool moment.
And I've just realised what the actual main pivotal moment was. You've just reminded me. It
Hmm.
was another competition. It was one organised by Belinda Carlisle, famous singer of song.
Hmm.
And that was another thing I won.
Oh
And
wow.
and it was very nice. There's videos of me and her dancing together. Yeah.
Oh great.
Anyway, we had to interpret one of her numbers, and I just decided to completely redo one of her songs from scratch and turn it into like a doom pop trap kind of vibe. And the fact that she liked it, I was like, if Belinda likes my music, maybe someone else might as well. So that was
Yeah.
the other sort of catalyst. It gave me the courage to go
So
ahead and make some
Belinda and
music
halfway
by
to heaven.
myself.
I love that you're on a
Yes.
first name basis with her now. You're like, if Belinda likes my music.
Well, exactly. Me and B.
Maybe the BC.
Exactly.
Great. Well, I mean that's a good story. Thank you for sharing. See the plot of young Ripley going forward
Yes.
into the musical world. And Charlie Fisher, this is your moment. This is your life.
Oh God, I mean,
Here's the
my
book.
sort of
Tell us.
my supervillain origin story, I guess, is
Yes,
nowhere
origin
near as
story. Mhm.
exciting as Ripley's. Um, I had been writing songs for about 3 or 4 years by the time I eventually released anything, and it was always like a pipe dream
Mhm.
was to make my own music, because it was kind of all I've ever wanted to do, really. And I graduated from college and I didn't have a job, and I was like, well, I might as well give it a go now. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I've got nothing else to do. I
Why
might as well
not?
give it a go now. So I connected with some people online, worked on some songs. It's boring and not a fun story. I'm very sorry. Um,
No, no, it's interesting. And it's like, I guess, were those people that you connected with the one like, did they help on like the production side, or like what was
yeah,
their role in that? Okay.
yeah. So I had no idea how to produce a song, but I knew how to write an absolute banger. So
Mm.
so yeah, we teamed up, as you might say. And
Clapped it up.
I was, yeah, just sort of like up until this year, really, I was kind of just putting things out and seeing what stuck. Do you know what I mean? I
Mm.
never really had like a plan. I was just like, this is fun, and I just kind of want to see if people like it. Um, so yeah, it's like I said, it's really not an interesting story. I'm very sorry.
No.
Listeners, I'm very sorry.
Quick, well, I'll throw in some scandal in there in the edit, don't worry. Um,
Yeah, please do.
do you both produce now? Are you both? Do you both do or do you kind of like work with people? We're sort of having some wavy
I
hands.
I I'm not a producer. It's not what I do, but
Mm.
I have produced a couple of things.
Mm.
Because I sort of I was like, I've got GarageBand on literally on my phone, and I was like, I should learn how to use this so that when I write something, I can make like a crap demo that I
Mhm.
can then send to the person who's going to produce the real thing and be like, I'm sorry, please make this not awful. Um, and
Turn
there
this
have
up.
been like maybe 2 instances where I've been like, actually, this is really good. So, but I'm not a producer. It's not.
Well, so you are because you've made some stuff.
Not really, though.
Figuring it out. How about you, Ripley? Do you produce as well? Do you?
Yeah, so my EP I did all by myself.
Amazing.
And I've done a couple of remixes as well for others. So a remix for Corey Liner. You might be aware of Corey Liner. Came out a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's my remix of Short Boys Suck. And I've got another remix for the Australian singer Product coming out in days. I think it's...
Is Product Australian?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I didn't know that.
Product is based in Perth, I believe.
I just assumed he was American.
I think this is like my assumption is also that everyone's American if they're not British.
Yeah.
That's cool. International remixing.
Yeah. I love a good remix.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm hoping to get some remixes out this year as well, for sure. What has last year obviously it's been so different to what anyone was expecting, but like has it changed how you approach kind of music and like releasing stuff? And have you had any wild moments, light bulb moments, or is it just is what it is? I know for me it's been like I come from much more of the live music scene and kind of life, and that was always my thing. I used to run like open mic nights, and like I'm like, a person with guitar singing in the corner kind of situation, and then sometimes on stage with some glitter, but so yeah, like then just having to like be online so much and promote everything online was like a really new experience for me. But I was like, oh cool, I can actually like do it. I'm not too I'm not too old that I can't do social media. How about for yourself? So have you discovered anything?
Who's going first?
You go first. You go first.
Come on.
I guess the first thing that pops into my mind is that from doing it all online, it's been amazing, and I've connected with so many amazing people. I've made so many amazing friends that I would never have made. So many amazing sort of connections that I never would have made. But I cannot wait to get back out into the real world.
Yeah.
And to do some of this stuff in the real world. Because I've never performed any of my music live. Because
it's wild, isn't it?
But before the lockdown happened, I had only put out 3 singles. I didn't have enough to do a sort of live set thing. I didn't have enough songs. And then lockdown happened, and I put out a fair bit last year, and I'm putting out a fair bit this year, and it's like I just want to. I'm very excited to get back out into the real world and to actually see people face to face and sing songs in front of them.
Yeah, put on that show.
It'll be nice.
Yeah, no, totally. How about you, Ripley? Are you missing the stage?
I am, yeah, because whenever I would do my shows at like the Vauxhall Tavern or at Halfway to Heaven, the reaction is obviously so instant, and you've got a captive audience. And I was lucky enough to do some shows right before lockdown, and it was the first time I'd ever managed to perform any of my music. And there were people coming up to me being like, oh, where can I find this? But I hadn't released any of it yet. So there were these people that were desperate for it, and then now they're gone. They're just going to have to, hopefully they'll be around.
It's just when
They'll
they remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
When they drunkenly stumbled into Halfway at midnight and they heard me calling Donald Trump up in one of my songs.
I think that would be pretty memorable, to be fair.
Yeah, I wouldn't be forgetting that anytime soon.
Well, I mean, yeah, here is I'm holding on, hanging on. Here's for all these amazing shows that are going to happen. They will happen.
Think how good all of these.
So good.
Think how good all of these venues are going to be when they're legal again, though.
Yeah,
it's going to be brilliant. So we just got to hold
We'll
on
be
a little bit longer.
Fighting for that spotlight time.
Yeah, literally.
Well, speaking of spotlights and shows, Ripley, you've become sort of the queen of putting on virtual DIY extravaganzas over this last while, and so that was my first meeting virtually with you, was with your DIY Pride last summer, which is very cool. Very honoured to be part of that. And have me of my video rolling around in my bed suddenly.
Yes.
A few other places. So that was fun. So you did another one just recently, just for New Year's.
For New Year's, yeah, the Queer New Year's extravaganza.
Great. I watched that with a bit of a hangover and very much enjoyed it. Tell us, well, actually, so before you tell us what your next one is about, we need to explain for some people who Robert Burns is. Ripley, I'm going to hand this over to you.
Robert Burns, wow. Robert Burns was in a reality TV show where he was trying to be part of basically a new girl group. So there was a girl group on one side and a boys group on the other. And Robert Burns went up against a girl called Cheryl. I can't remember what her surname was back then. And he didn't get through. He had a very short-lived solo career, and then he had an affair with a rapper who was married to Alicia Dixon, I think. Anyway, as a result, he's now our national bard, and we celebrate him every year.
This is true. This is a true story. And how do we
describe Javina Hilton?
Oh, that's who that is.
Wrong one. How do we celebrate Rabbie? What usually
Well, we all get our cabers out and we get around the haggis. We drink some iron brew and we say poems.
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 Oh, I've not said like that in years.
We are gonna discuss this also because I'm a cheapskate. My Zoom might run out. We might have to restart this, but it's all okay. This is life. So before we find out exactly about what you're going to be doing on Burns Night, who remembers a Burns poem?
Off by heart.
No, not off by heart. Well, if you could do one off by heart, I'd be very impressed. Just the title is all I'm looking for. Bonus points if you can give me a couple of lines.
Mariah Carey's Auld Lang Syne.
That's what my favourite was.
I remember one that they used to make us do at school, but I don't think it was Robert Burns.
Oh,
it was called The Sare Finger.
Oh yeah, I don't think that was.
I don't think it was Robert Burns.
What's that about?
It's about a guy gets a scalf in his finger, and it's Sare.
My finger.
You can tell this isn't how I talk, can't
you? My favourite one was Lament for a Lost Dinner Ticket, which was about someone who lost a dinner ticket. And all I can remember is at some point he goes, "My bum's here," and I went to sleep. I don't really know what.
Relatable.
Yeah. Yeah. I think about that to this day.
We've all been there.
We've all been there. And when your bum is sore, just go to sleep.
Just go to sleep.
Yeah.
Is this related to the sorry, is this so the guy with the sore finger gives the other guy the sore bum?
Yeah, this is the same. This was a two-parter poem actually by Robert Burns. Yeah.
The Sare Finger.
Not checked out Robert Burns. He's got some great stuff.
The Sare Arse part 2.
Which is why, with such content like this, you've been inspired to put on a whole night of it. Ripley, tell us about it.
I'm right. Yes. So the Burning Up show is going to feature a whole bunch of LGBT, but also ally singers and songwriters, mostly from Scotland, but a few from further afield. I just thought it'd be a good excuse to try and shine a spotlight on queer singers from Scotland, because I find them really hard to find for some reason. I don't know about you two, but compared to, queer singers from London or from, like you said, you assume everyone's from the US.
Yeah.
And I do like call outs all the time just to try and find more. And I don't know if it's just because they're just not marketing themselves that way, or if it's just because they've never thought to use Twitter as as a platform for themselves. I don't really know what the reason is, because there must be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of
must
singers
be.
and songwriters that are LGBT plus in Scotland, but can't you find them? But the ones I have found, I'm going to bring to you on the 25th of January.
Great. Gathering that clan.
Yes.
Great. So online, 25th of January.
Yes. It's going to be on my YouTube channel, starting at like 8 o'clock.
Excellent.
I don't know why I'm doing this. It will start at 8 o'clock.
Right,
It's not live.
if
It's not like with a live show and I say 8 o'clock and I go on stage at 8:45.
Yeah.
It's
That's the live, the real live version of it, the live experience. Great. So, and I guess bring your whiskey and haggis if that's your thing.
Yes, exactly. And also you two are in it. Am I pointing at you two right now, or do I just look like a weirdo? These two.
You're pointing like the totally wrong way for me. You're both that way for me. Yes, we're both in it.
Yes.
It'll be fun. Great. Well, so yes, so as I said, and the tunes that you hear on this show, Venn's Quop, whichever part we're in, I don't know, you might be watching this on YouTube right now. This might make it into the edit of the radio show. It might be on Spotify. It might be on Ripley's thing. Who knows? We're everywhere. Who knows what's happening? But yes, good to support some queer Scottishness in all those ways.
I saw her at a fringe show called Disco Nativity.
Of course you did.
And
it
was in a lecture hall at Edinburgh Uni, and it was quite small. So I just remember she was really close to me, going like,
"Oh my god, absolutely not!"
I'm pretty sure she was Mary. I don't think she was Jesus, but
Disco Nativity. I saw
Michelle McManus says Jesus.
She is Jesus, does she not?
She is Scottish Jesus.
I saw Michelle McManus also in a fringe show, but I didn't realize
she does now.
Yeah, I think that's her thing now. So in Edinburgh, did anyone ever go to the Newtown bar? It does not exist anymore. So
probably.
It was like in the Newtown, as the name suggests. Yeah. It was a bit more of like an older and like berry kind of bar.
Oh yes, I know the one.
And downstairs they had a disco room.
Yeah, but you couldn't see anything in there.
Yeah, very dark, mysterious. So you could go down for all your disco needs in the dark. But once I was there and went downstairs for my disco needs, and there was Michelle McManus, and she was putting on a show in the downstairs.
Like
basement.
performing?
Yeah, like performing.
What
like singing,
queen, honestly.
Yeah. So
we stand someone who will take any and all job opportunities presented to her,
including in a dark room in a bear bar. So
I get it, because same. So
yeah, I'm here to take her gigs. Like,
do you know what I mean?
I don't think that bar exists
anymore.
So from Michelle McManus, we shall move on really seamlessly to Charlie Fisher to tell us all about your show on Glitterbeam. Also,
yeah,
it's so nice that we're now like colleagues.
I know, we're like hanging out around the water cooler, bitching about all the other staff members.
That team. I mean, I can't keep up. It seems like there's new presenters appearing every day. I don't know what.
Yeah, I know.
Like I thought I was like the new boy for like a couple of weeks, and now I'm old hat.
I was the new kid for 5 minutes, honestly.
Yeah, that's it, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
So, but how are you finding it? Tell us about your show. When can we find you?
Yeah, it's lovely. It's a lot of fun. So my show is called Charlie Steals the Aux Cord, because it's like when you're at a house party and you get bored of the straight people trap music that they're playing, so you steal the aux cord and you play Sugar Babes at them until they all leave the room. I play a sort of mix of like tracks from like the current queer indie pop scene, the sort of DIY hyper pop side of things, and then also absolute garbage throwback
Hmm.
bangers. So like this is like I like to think it's the only show where you would get like what's the coolest hyperpop song that you can think of? Either of you.
Acting like a slut, looking like a bitch. Who sings that?
I've no idea. It's the only show where you would get
I'm right.
that. You would get that into like I'm a little yellow fish in the deep blue sea. Like there is no
That won an Ivor Novello, no?
huh? Yeah, it did, yeah, 100%. But yeah, it's a peek into my completely unhinged brain.
It's
And
a,
what
it's a
I-
glorious unhinged brain. I really enjoy it.
do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's just a lot of fun. It's just me really playing my favorite songs at people. But who wouldn't want that?
Right?
Who wouldn't want that? Yeah, and it's a great time. I've had a great time doing it. Everyone's lovely.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's good. It's good fun. It's a good time. Would recommend.
Would recommend. So when is your show on Glitterbeam?
Oh, did I not say that? I thought I
I
did.
don't-
It's Wednesdays at 9 p.m.
Wednesdays
No,
at
now
9.
that I've said it, I realized that I didn't say it, but I thought about saying
Wednesdays at 9, Glitterbeam.
it. Wednesdays at 9.
Yes, no, they are a lovely crew, and well, they're making this possible for
Yeah.
us to chat away on the airwaves, which is very nice, isn't it? So yeah, no, very very supportive, and yeah, super cool that you're part of that growing team. I wonder if
it's
we'll get
nice.
to actually meet all in real life at some point as well. You'd have like an office party.
Honestly, who knows? An office party. Oh, I have a feeling that would be messy.
I'm here for that. ready for a big messy office party. So we're going to be playing one of your tracks each on the show. So I'd love to hear a little bit of the story behind these tracks. So Ripley, we're going to be hearing one from your EP, Milkshake. Is that right?
That's right.
Giving that a spin. Tell us a little bit about the story behind Milkshake. Which is a
Well,
great track.
Milkshake is inspired by probably my absolute favorite moment of political rebellion when a guy called Paul, I don't know how to pronounce his surname, I think it's Crowther. Anyway, he went to Five Guys and he was like, I'm going to get myself a banana milkshake. He walked out, who did he see? Nigel Farage. He did what any sensible person would do and he lobbed it right in that fanny's face. And I just thought, what a beautiful moment in life. It has to be, made it immortal through song.
And that you did.
And it's just a nice, fun, summery song with an anti-racist message.
Perfect for any time of year, I'd say.
True, yes.
Including this dreary January. Yeah, no, it's a great tune. Very happy to be giving it a spin.
Yay.
Glitterbeam on Spotify. And Charlie, we're going to be hearing your latest Pop Slice. Tell us a little bit about it.
Pop Slice, so that's fun. Yeah, so it's called City Pop. I wrote it back in lockdown 1.0. So the first time that I hadn't left the house in 3 weeks. A friend of mine had sent me a playlist of this obscure Japanese pop music from like the late 70s, I think. And it was this genre called City Pop, which was inspired by, of all things, the rise of cars having radios in them, and people just wanted to like drive around and have like it was like their equivalent of like vibe music. But it sort of blended like pop and soft rock with like funk and Motown, and so it was this very like ethereal disco-y sound. And I remember listening to it and being like, this is great, and also the name City Pop is great, I need to have it. So I plopped myself down, wrote the song in about 20 minutes, which won't be surprising if you don't like it, and it'll be very surprising if you think it's a masterpiece. And yeah, that's what came out, and then yeah,
It's great. It's
bit of
great.
a banger.
Yeah, it totally is. It's a total banger. Yeah, a really great track as well. Like really, very much enjoying it. And I don't know if I asked you this already, but what if you, is this part of a bigger project or is this just a single on its own?
So I'm not sure 100%. I'm not looking at, because I put an album out last year, and that is the single most stressful thing that any human could ever do, whether you do it in isolation or not. I'm not necessarily looking at it as a project this year, but there is definitely more music coming quite soon that lives in the same cinematic universe as City Pop. It lives in the same world. It would, maybe in another life, it would be on an album together, but I don't want the stress of making an album right now. So, but yes, there is more music coming. It's going to be spaced out instead of all coming out at the same time.
Great. Well, little snippets of some teasers there for us to look out for this year. Very exciting. And the nice thing about having your own radio show is you can play your own music on it as well, which is quite nice.
And I have every week.
Oh, yeah. My background music's just me. It's great.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, if you can't promote yourself, right?
I open with my own single. I'm like, you're all welcome.
I mean, it's got to be done, I think.
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I feel that's the thing. Like, and I feel like, I guess similar of like you, Ripley, as well. Like curating your online events. It's like if you can't find the event that you want to be part of, or the gig that you want to be part of, or the radio that's going to play your song, just do it yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Why not? It's possible, which is very nice to see. So it's been really lovely chatting to you both. Before we finish up, as a sort of an ode to what's going to be happening next week at the Burns Night Extravaganza, Burning Up, is that what it's called?
Burning Up.
Burning Up. Great, excellent. So as part of a traditional Burns supper, there's always like a bunch of toasts that go on. I'm going to go on and on and on and on. So if you were both to toast to anybody or anything, what would that be?
I'm
Anything at all.
gonna toast to Michelle McManus because I think she deserves it.
She deserves it after those gigs.
She deserves it after all those Fringe shows.
I wonder what she's up to now.
I think she's got a podcast now.
Great. Okay.
I feel like she's got a podcast.
Okay, so I don't have my whiskey currently, but slange to
Stay hydrated,
McManus. Yeah, stay hydrated. Ripley, how about yourself? What would your toast to be?
See, I don't know to go serious or to go
I know,
flippant.
right? It's always a difficult one.
Yeah, because I mean, the Michelle McManus one was obviously so serious, and I'm like,
Yes.
gosh, I don't want it to end on a down note. So how can I like lift us all back up?
Yeah.
Maybe you can do the serious one and then finish with the funny one.
Nah. I think
That's asking too much.
I think I should just toast myself.
Yes.
I'm going to toast myself.
Yeah. Again, someone's got to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't.
So slange to me.
Slange to Ripley. Oh, here we go. Wow.
Refreshing.
Do you, what are you actually drinking?
It's empty.
An empty glass. Great. Drinking air.
Drinking air. That's how I stay so slim.
That's the secret. That is the secret. Well, we look forward to more toasting of queer musicians and loveliness at your show on Monday, 25th of January.
Of January, 8 p.m.
8 p.m. Yep. Those are the details. That's why you're
Make
here.
sure the people know.
tinyurl.com/burning up.
Great.
Something. Crap.
Write it down.
I can't remember the URL.
So close.
We'll find you. You'll find us.
Find it on my socials.
On the socials. That's it. Absolute delight talking to you both. And thanks for making me feel a little bit Scottish for a little bit of time.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for
Yes, thank you.
My
a
absolute
lovely time.
absolute pleasure. And yeah, all the best of everything that you're up to. So we will find you on the airwaves or online, and hopefully on a stage in real life at some point soon as well.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. All right. Well, I feel like I should say like something Scottish to finish up, but I don't know what to say. How do you say goodbye?
Just like, see you later, hen.
Cheerio.
I'm off to get my messages.
What is it people used to say when I was at school? They'd go, catchy Versace.
Oh, that sounds very West
What?
Coast. Oh.
Great.
I
Catchy
didn't say that I
Versace.
endorsed it. I just said that they said it.
Well, in the words of Charlie Fisher,
Judging the wrong person, hon.
catchy Versace. See you later. Cheers all. Bye-bye. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.